Ladies and gentlemen and ladies, we have reached the pinnacle of the college football season. Football. You know me, your host, down there, the Playmaker Side. You know my co-host, Dallas Flynn, and we would like to welcome you to the Playmakers Bar Podcast College Football Edition. Dallas, my brother, how you doing?
Doing good. A lot of interesting news in the college world.
Yep. So, let us get it started because we're going to talk about championship week. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into the rankings a bit and what possible scenarios could happen. Because after all the games I played on Saturday, on Sunday, we will know who's playing where in bowl games and playoffs. So, but first off, we're going to start off with a topic that's near and dear to Dallas's heart. We're going to talk about coaches. So, Dallas, go ahead.
I mean, actually, you're the one that was updating me the whole time. Because it's apparently, along with the midseason firings at Arkansas and all that good stuff, UNLV, apparently there was Mississippi, there was USF. Who else? Because these weren't really the programs I was looking at as far as.
But one of the programs I did bring up, USC. They are keeping coach for right now.
Yeah, and I mean, bro, that was weird when that came out because it's like, bro, last time I checked, USC is back in the top 25. Last time I checked, USC, they still had a chance to be playing for a Pac-12 championship. They wouldn't have made it to the playoff if they would have won, but I mean, it was there. You don't really give that up unless you really think you're getting a guy from the NFL. USC is one of those programs where it's a feeder to the NFL no matter how it is. So you got to know for sure that guy is going to be better than what you have now because you made that mistake with Ed Orgeron.
So Clay Helton is staying at USC. Speaking of the Pac-12, Coach Peter, he's stepping down at the end after the bowl game. He's stepping down at Washington.
I wonder if something happened.
Anxiety, stress, everything that pretty much made Urban Meyer step down from Ohio State is pretty much the same thing that's making him step down at Washington.
I wonder if, because granted, this was during Urban Meyer and ironically Chris Peterson's rise to fame. Bowling Green and Boise State, the pressure is a lot different than at Utah, Florida, Ohio State, and Washington. I'm not saying, we did do this ranking. We are going to do this special shindig, but it's just odd because it's college football. And there's the haves and the have-nots. And the work that he did at Washington, the playoff appearance, the first-round picks, having a run-stuffing pure nose tackle look like a first-rounder. That's stuff where if all that doesn't result in a national championship, if all that doesn't result in a playoff win, it kind of makes you wonder, it's 138 teams. As the committee has been showing week after week, they're really only going to consider around 7 tops. And they're dying to get one out. So I wonder if going forward, these coaches, ironically, Clay, at USC, guys getting axed at Mississippi, Arkansas deserved to get axed. But, Willie Taggart getting a buyout in the middle of the season, just complete dumpster fire. Shout out to Coach Dell getting that team back to a bowl. I think the last time this happened, Coach Dell got FSU to a bowl game. So it's very weird, the timing of the coaching changes that are happening in college football, because unlike the NFL and Ron Rivera, which we talked about in the NFL podcast, I mean, this is a different dynamic. These are guys that, went to high school games. These are guys that called these kids on the phone. These are guys where, a lot of these kids, no matter how bad the season's going, are there because of that coach. And, for example, UNLV's coach didn't get to coach the rivalry game against Nevada. What? It's one thing to, want the new guy to coach the bowl game, or if a coach bows out because he's taking a bigger job. But, dude, the rivalry game at the end of the season, the end of the regular season. Stuff like that. It's just, and it's the schools where you're looking at it and it's like, okay, and we got certain programs where coaching changes probably should have happened a while ago, but I just find it weird when the guy in Mississippi, his name escapes me, the guy at UNLV, Charlie Strong. He didn't have a great he didn't do a great job at Texas, but at the same time, it's like, bro, it's USF. It's a lot of problems at USF besides Charlie Strong's game planning.
So we're going to shift right now from the coaching stuff. We're going to stick with the coaching topic because there's a couple of names that I want to throw out there. We're going to do it when we recap the weeks because Dallas, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to glance over it. It happened again. This time with a different coach. And this time it happened at the big house. Michigan got their behinds whooped again by Ohio State. Jim Harbaugh made history. He's the first coach at either Ohio State or Michigan to go 0-5 in the rivalry game. Go ahead, Dallas.
It's one thing. Urban Meyer is one of the greatest college football coaches of all time. He won at Bowling Green. What's Bowling Green been since? He won at Utah, set up that culture. Won at Florida, and with everything that ended up happening after those boys left and everything that was discovered, it's amazing he was able to keep that under wraps and keep that together. Went to Ohio State after the ESPN gig for a couple years. Went to Ohio State. Everything he's touched turned to gold. So, scandal happens. Has to leave. Best thing for the university, best thing for the kids, best thing for him. His assistant, his golden boy, his golden child. Ohio State's gonna look good because this is Urban Meyer stamped and approved right here. Anybody who was getting recruited by Urban Meyer probably already knew about Ryan Day, is his name?
Yep.
Everybody getting recruited by Urban Meyer probably knew about Ryan Day. Ryan Day was probably visiting a lot of kids being recruited by Urban Meyer. So a lot of those juniors and redshirt sophomores already know Coach Ryan Day very well, probably. But you are a 10-year NFL quarterback. You are an NFC champion head coach. You've been to a Super Bowl. You're an alum of Michigan. They rolled out the stuff for you. They did all the khaki jokes. They've given you time. You got guys in the NFL right now, Devin Bush, Taylor Lewan, Jabril Peppers. You got guys to come back who were there either right before you came or who will vouch for you. It doesn't make sense. You can't say you don't have the talent. You're Michigan. You're a blue blood. You can't say you didn't have the opportunity. You can't say Urban Meyer is just Urban Meyer. It's Ryan Day's first year as a transfer from Georgia. His first year in the rivalry. His first year at the school. This is the second time in a row a first-year Ohio State starting quarterback has beaten you. It's to the point now where it's like, I crack the jokes and I troll, but seriously, anybody, Twitter, Facebook, somebody help me understand why Michigan would keep a guy who can't beat Ohio State. Because if you can't beat Ohio State, he's never going to be in the Big Ten championship game. And if he's never going to be in the Big Ten championship game, he's never going to be in the playoff. And if he's never going to be in the playoff, he's never going to win a national championship. So what is the point when you're at a blue blood and you know you're never going to win a title with that guy?
Wow. Well said. So let me go to the coach. They're not a head coach. Let me go to a defensive coordinator because he's done a fabulous job while he was there, and he's calling retirement after this season. The Virginia Tech Hokies, they fell to Virginia. Virginia's going to the ACC championship game. We'll get into that. But shout out to Bud Foster, who will be stepping down after this season, Dallas. The man did a wonderful job with that Hokies defense.
Yeah, it's weird. A retirement of a coordinator, first of all, being notable. That says what it is. But, Virginia Tech, coaches stepping down. That is a school where coaching definitely was the X factor out of every school. So them losing a coach as good as that, I don't really know how it's going to help for the future, especially the way they ended up going out. But I hope they can end up building the staff. I hope they can end up building the next generation of coaches that are able to accomplish a lot more than what they're supposed to or what they have. Because people forget Virginia Tech it's not a Florida. It's not Alabama. It's not a school where you can, just major in sociology, major in like general bit. Like, nah, it's a polytechnic institute. So you're not getting the entire pool of talent that all these other schools can get. So I hope they can make it work.
All right. So shout out to Wisconsin. Took down Minnesota. And now you are in the Big Ten championship game. We'll talk about the Big Ten championship in a minute. But hey, Minnesota, y'all had a good season, but you came up short.
Minnesota, here's the problem with winning streaks and getting hot in the middle of the season. When you're in a Power 5 conference and you get hot, everybody wonders, why aren't you ranked higher in the Power 5 conference? You get ranked higher because you have upside win. You don't live up to the hype, and now it's, oh, well, PJ Fleck, the roof fell down. The kid, it's Minnesota. PJ Fleck is playing the John Gruden long game. They were a lot better than they were supposed to be this year. Minnesota was really just supposed to be a feel-good story because of their third-string holder. We weren't really supposed to be talking about Minnesota like that besides that feel-good story. PJ Fleck is doing an awesome job over there, and, I don't really know what the projections are like, but even if he doesn't get a New Year's Six Bowl, I mean, they're probably going to run through whichever group of 5 team they match him up against. Or hopefully they get matched up against a Power 5 team so it can look good, and maybe the final rankings will help him out.
30 moment for me. Florida State got y'all ass handed to y'all in Gainesville. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. And that was actually a good thing because when the rankings came out, I'm gonna tell y'all why it was a good thing. Bedlam, Oklahoma. They beat Oklahoma State in Stillwater, Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was going the way that they have been playing teams. I thought that was going to be a letdown, but I'm not going to act like I'm super duper surprised. Lincoln Riley, he's not going to have his third Heisman quarterback in a row, but he's basically been able to show both the NFL and college football that I really just need one guy. That's all I need. Everybody else is out here recruiting, going to 100 houses, trying to go out to Hawaii, trying to find somebody from Alaska, trying to get that edge. Because I just need one. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to find somebody in the transfer portal. I'm going to find somebody who was a backup. I'm going to find somebody who got snaps. I'm going to find Mac Jones. Shoot, Tua's brother, after that performance against Auburn, is probably going to get the job going in the next season. Mac Jones going to get pissed. Lincoln Riley's going to say, hey, come over here, big fella. It's okay. And that's dangerous. Because Oklahoma still gets the love.
That's if he ain't going to Dallas.
That's the thing, though. It's like, bro, like Lincoln Riley has basically shown I just need one. I just need a GM who is going to spend all 7 picks seeing if we can find the one. I just need him to go out in free agency and find the one. Like Jerry Jones is either going to give him a guy who's going to lead the league in passing yards and wants to update that offense, or they're going to find somebody even better, in theory, than somebody who can lead the NFL in passing offense. So like I just said in college, I mean, there's a bevy of guys in that transfer portal. There's a bevy of guys that got good quality snaps on teams that they'll probably never play for again. So that's dangerous.
Shout out to Felipe Franks. He decided he's going to either transfer or he's going to go to the NFL draft, so he will not be back with the Florida Gators. So that'll leave Kyle Trask or Emory Jones battling for the quarterback position beginning of next season.
I really don't think that Felipe should enter the draft. They're going to try to switch him to tight end or fullback. I also don't know. I don't think he's Lincoln Riley's type. Because Felipe Franks, the nation wants Felipe Franks to be a decent game manager first. It would have been nice if he could have put up 50 like he wanted to, but we were just, Felipe, just make it through. How about that first? So I don't really know where he ends up. He might end up going to a Big Ten school. He might need to go to a Smash Mouth school that can help him out and make him look good. That one season at Wisconsin helped Russell Wilson out a crap ton. So,
all right, Dallas. Imagine this: you on the road, right?
mm-hmm.
And it's simple. If you win, you're hosting the championship game, correct?
Yes.
But you don't win. You lose. Not only do you lose on the road, and which the following week you got to go back to that same place and play that same team, which is the position that the Cincinnati Bearcats are in after they lost to Memphis.
Big fella.
So, if you want to, you can save it when we get to talk about the American Championship game. If you want to save it for right now, it's up to you.
Yeah, we need to save it because that also affected, the scenarios. So don't really want to go into it too much without doing the deep dive. So we'll wait.
And finally, all good things come to an end, Dallas.
Do they really?
Yep. So we had a playoff system for how many years now?
Be careful now, because we're both from SEC country. Be careful what you say, because apparently Facebook is the only ones who really F with us like that. And there's a lot of Southern Bills and homers.
Guess what? They not dumb. For the first time in the playoff era, Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide would not be involved. After losing to Auburn in a shootout of an Iron Bowl. If you call for a shot in Iron Bowl, you deserve some money. Because I don't think none of us seen a shootout in the Iron Bowl.
I really think that, first of all, I don't think anybody is surprised that Mac Jones had the game that he had. I think that when you have a quarterback like Tua, and when you have what happened to Tua, and then you have a game like Western Carolina in between Auburn to see just how bad things are going to be, that offense is clearly for Tua. When you look at Alabama and Alabama football over the years, you could tell that Tua was special. That game plan, basically doing SOS with a guy that didn't even have a lot of pass attempts before this season, goes to show, like, dang, they were in it. They were in it deep. And it was one of those things where it was just like, well, it's too late now. This is literally the last regular season game. It's too late now. So I wonder going forward, because, we're talking maybe Sugar Bowl or Orange Bowl here. We're talking, they're still going to be in the new. Well, no, because they're like 13th.
I'm going to get to that when we get to the rankings.
They're still like 13th. So it's not a DEFCON 1 situation, because I think this lets us know how special Tua was, more so than, any deficiencies. People overreacting about Nick Saban losing a couple games. Now, is it going to be weird seeing them in some mid-December bowl game that really doesn't matter at like 6:30 at night? Yes. But in the big scheme of things, like, Alabama's probably going to go back to normal, because I don't really know. I didn't see any high school film to his little brother, so I don't really know if he can throw down like that. But I would bet on him getting the starting job next year over Mac Jones if it's an open competition.
So, all right, let's get to these rankings. The top four stay the same: Dallas, Ohio State, LSU, Clemson, and Georgia.
Not really much to say. It's really matters.
Well, they all won. They all did. They all handled their business like they should. The Georgia thing, I'm gonna get to the Georgia thing in a minute, because they is not in a good position right now. Number 5, Utah. Number 6, Oklahoma. Number 7, Baylor. Number 8, Wisconsin. A lot of teams that's in conference championship games from 5 to 8 there, Dallas.
I don't think Wisconsin has a chance.
But here's the interesting thing. Florida is at 9, Penn State is at 10, Auburn's at 11, Alabama's at 12, with Oregon's at 13. With Florida at 9, Penn State at 10, those two teams got an inside track on the New Year's Six Bowl.
Yes, Florida's probably going to the sugar.
Or orange.
Well, yeah, because if Georgia loses, yeah, they'll have the sugar. So, yeah, either way, Florida's going to go, because they'll be the third place SEC team. And they would have been ranked in like the top 14 all year. So the orange is trying to make some money at the end of the day. Let's not fool ourselves here.
Penn State could be going out to Pasadena.
You think if after the losses they had, Wisconsin beats Ohio State?
And if Wisconsin beats Ohio State, then we have a lot of things to get through.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't really. Wisconsin being 8 is weird because it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I guess Penn State had to play Ohio State. We knew what that was going to be. That Minnesota loss kind of put them off pace. I guess. It depends on how Wisconsin looks, I guess. Because, it happens with Wisconsin. But the Rose Bowl, more than likely, is going to be Penn State because Wisconsin's going to take a L, I'm assuming. So it's probably going to be Penn State and Utah.
So the Oregon-Utah game has very big implications. We'll get to that. Michigan's at 14. Notre Dame at 15. Notre Dame is still ranked this whole damn time and not talked about, which is like the most amazing thing ever.
And it's crazy because it's like if we were to if we were to have some weird thing like everybody else does, where we're gonna bandwagon Notre Dame when they're really, really good because it's Notre Dame. They're independent. They suck this year. Multiple losses. I'll forget about them. Obviously, if we were to include Notre Dame in our rankings, Notre Dame would probably be the national champion by like week 5. But yeah, Notre Dame is just there, and for what I do not know, because what can you do with them? You can't do anything with them.
He's just sitting there.
They're gonna be because you're not gonna put them in the Cotton Bowl. There's Memphis first of all. There's Oregon if they win. There's Wisconsin. There's Baylor, Oklahoma, possibly Georgia. Notre Dame is not getting the Cotton Bowl. So like, what? Why do we keep Notre Dame relevant when they're about to be playing some weird 6:30 at night bowl?
Iowa's at 16. Memphis is at 17 with the inside track to a New Year's 6.
Yes.
Minnesota's at 18. Boise State at 19. Cincinnati at 20. Appalachian State at 21. USC at 22. Virginia 23.
They had to rank them because of how stupid it looked last year. Like last year looked absolutely absurd having an unranked team in a Power 5 championship game. I feel like that's a pity ranking.
You can say that, but Pitt was like 6 and 5 or 6 and 6 going into that game. There's no way you could have ranked them.
Bro, like, no. There are so many 5 or 4 loss teams in the country right now. They're trying to help Clemson. They're trying. It's bad at this point. It's bad. It would just be so horrible. And the precedents that they've been using for Clemson in the ACC this year, it just would have been real bad if Clemson would have had an unranked opponent in the conference championship game the second year in a row.
Navy's at 24. Oklahoma State at 25. The only teams with 4 losses is USC and Oklahoma State. Everybody else has three losses or less. So Virginia, you deserve to be in the rankings, okay? If USC and Oklahoma State can be ranked, y'all can be ranked. So
who's saying that's the right thing to do, though? Ain't nobody saying that's the right thing to do. Hold on now. Hold your horses.
Man, they rank USC, who was 8-4, and they rank Oklahoma State, who was 8-4. Virginia St. They're at 9-3.
No, stop. See, that's once again you're letting stuff go over your head. I can't spell everything right out for you. I'm not saying Oklahoma State being ranked with 4 losses after losing to yet another conference opponent is the right thing to do. Let's not justify a bad thing with another bad thing. The bottom 5 of the AP is always.
All I'm saying, if you're going to rank them, I'm talking about the playoff. I mean, if you're going to rank them, you got to rank Virginia. It will make no sense.
You cannot justify bad behavior with bad behavior.
That's your college football playoff rankings. Florida has an inside track to a New Year's 6. Penn State has an inside track to a New Year's 6. So get ready. Pasadena, Orange Bowl, or Sugar Bowl, get ready because the Florida Gators are the Penn State and the Lions will be heading your way.
Big advantage for the Gators either way Because where's the Cotton Bowl going to be? Detroit or Texas?
No, the Cotton Bowl is always in Texas. It's in Dallas, Texas.
Okay, so you're either going to New Orleans or Texas. Oh, no, where's the orange?
No, they're going to Miami or New Orleans.
Oh, so, well, yeah, because that's at large versus at large. Yeah, because, you talk about the BS that would have to happen for. Yeah, okay, so, well, everybody better hope that Georgia wins, because Florida and Miami, oh, God. Florida on, like, their third quarterback versus Virginia. Sweet Jesus. Who's the CEO of the Orange Bowl so I could send him a love basket? Because he ain't.
You sure he ain't making money? That's Florida.
Bro, this is a New Year's Six Bowl. You stop it. No matter how well you guys travel, TV, press, social media impressions, advertising impressions. Who cares about the gate, bro? Like, they got to house those boys. They got to do the swag bags. They got to look, man.
Do you rather have Florida, Virginia, or Georgia and Virginia?
Actually, you might be able to sell more money with Georgia. You might be able to sell more tickets with Georgia. You might be able to get more people to watch with Georgia, because the thing is, it's going to be a blowout either way. It's just Jake Fromm might be his last game. The what ifs, the how good is. They like to do narratives when you have a team that was supposed to be really, really good and supposed to be in the playoff, because they narratived out the Sugar Bowl. And I think it was Georgia, Texas, whichever bowl they played in. They narrated that in
Texas beat the brakes off Georgia.
I know, and it was for Texas is back and this and that, and they were showing clips from a national title game from 2 years. I'm like, God, y'all don't give a damn about this game. What Florida, Virginia, what the hell you going narrative? Going to show Felipe Franks' ankle going halfway to Texas? You're going to show another quarterback, you're going to be on their third quarterback. Got Felipe Franks, oh God. They might spend like 5 minutes talking about Felipe Franks and that storyline, because y'all are going to be up 21-0 by the end of the first quarter. So we're talking about Felipe Franks' Instagram post in the middle of a New Year's Six Bowl. Man, look.
Everyone, Virginia, yeah, it's pretty much saying it's Virginia. It's Virginia's fault.
The sad thing is, like, I feel for Clemson. I advocate for Clemson because they're talking out both sides of their mouth. However, bro, like,
they can't slip up against Virginia. They can't.
Conference. It's a geographical regional conference. Do a realignment. It's really that simple. Everybody plays everybody anyway. You're already used to playing so-and-so and such and such. Just realign the divisions. Help yourself.
Oh, boy. Clemson better not slip up against Virginia. Boy, it's going to be some, oh, my gosh.
They're all right. Realign division into that.
Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? It's a long process. It's a hard, thought-out process. Yeah, I know. I was there. From March of this year, thinking about how I'm going to do this, doing all my research, trying to get everything right. What platforms can we use and how we going to record it and how we going to make it sound good and make it all this happen. And then I came upon Anchor. The Anchor app on my phone, the easiest choice I could ever make to do a podcast. It's free to use. You don't got to pay for nothing. You can record episodes whenever you're ready. You can edit it and then you can release them when you want to. And you don't have to worry about trying to figure out how you're going to distribute it on other platforms, because Anchor has partnerships with Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Castbox, Pocket Cast, whatever you name it. Because the Playmakers Wild podcast is the podcast that I use. We are on all them platforms. We are on 9 platforms just by using the Anchor app. So pretty much all the questions that you have questions about doing a podcast, go to the Anchor app or go to the Anchor website, anchor.fm.com, and just search through it, ask questions. Because I tell you, a free app that does all this, there's nothing more you can ask for. I even got friends, they doing their podcast on the Anchor app. Faith Talk, you might have heard of it because it's very good. And it's great that It's an app like this, it's a website like this that makes it easier for people to do podcasts and do what they love best, talking about the things that they love to talk about. So give Anchor a try, see how much you like it. We'll love to hear your podcast.
All right, championship week begins Friday. They released a Discord Friday night. Dallas, we got the Pac-12 championship. 13 Oregon Ducks, 10-2 versus the Utah Utes, ranked number 5, 11-1, out in Levi Stadium, Santa Clara, California. The Utah Utes are 6.5 favorite.
Justin Herbert did not have a good showing the other week. I think Utah being 5, I think Utah as a program has been here before. I think Utah's been pretty consistent all season, or else it wouldn't be number 5. We know that Utah is a team, not necessarily somebody relying on NFL talent. The question I have, because I'm going to pick Utah, because Justin Herbert has basically shown everybody, at least Pac-12 quarterbacks, why you don't stay the extra year to try to quote-unquote build something special. My question is, if Utah really does win and Georgia loses, because, I mean, let's be real, Georgia's probably going to lose. Jake Fromm hasn't really been it. Is Utah really going to be in the playoff? Like, are they really going to do that? Or are they I'm skeptical. Yeah, they're 5 going into championship weekend. And yeah, Georgia is the one that has to win. They can't stay in if they lose because they can't say, oh, well, it was a good loss. Well, no, they have South Carolina. I don't know, man. I just think there will be chicanery and foolishness. A lot of stuff has to happen.
When Oregon lost to Arizona State and you sat there and I said Herman Harris and you started laughing, the only thing I can think of is, boy, Oregon finna really F up the Pac-12. They finna be mad. They finna be pissed.
It's fitting that a conference that really died once Hawaii got 2 wins on them in the first 3 weeks is in the last week of the season with a small sliver of hope. And then Oregon is going to come in and duck it up. It's fitting that, the way this conference has been the entire season, USC comes into the college football playoff ranking as first, saves the coach's job. And now Justin Herbert, who's ruined, I mean, he's just ruined whichever team is going to pick him. Tua got hurt. Justin Herbert ruined himself. We're talking about, good Lord, we're talking about Joe Burrow, who couldn't even start at the school he was at, probably being the number 1 overall pick. This is horrible. This is horrendous. Like, Utah is going to have to be all hands on deck. Backer's going to have to be ready. Corner's going to have to be ready. The defense is going to have to play lights out and show out because Oregon is really going to try to mess this up for everybody.
Man, I want to pick Oregon so because I just got a feeling they're going. He's like, you know what? God damn it, I'm sick of this.
Don't. But go ahead.
I'm gonna go Utah because I actually like their defense. They actually got a defense, so that defense is sick.
That's how Utah won the Sugar Bowl back in 2008. That's Utah's calling card. And we got to remember, Utah played Washington super close. We did not think Washington was going to be the way Washington was this year. So, I mean, I didn't hear a lot of dudes from Utah graduating, going to the NFL draft. So, a lot of veterans on that defense. And again, like you're talking about a guy who you got to wonder, bro. Like, is Justin Herbert there to win, or is Justin Herbert there to try to kind of help himself?
Even though we picking Utah, do not be surprised. We hop on the podcast next week and we both just start laughing. Because if we start laughing, that means Oregon did what we thought.
And bro, like, I'm probably gonna laugh anyway, because if you really think, I feel for you guys out there out west. If you really think that this is a meritocracy, if you really think that Utah on the first game of championship week, if you really think Utah beating Oregon is going to get them into the playoff, you are sadly mistaken. I am sorry in advance.
I'm going to tell you why he says that. Because starting off championship weekend on Saturday, it's the Big 12 championship. Number 6 Oklahoma versus number 7 Baylor. We have a rematch. Oklahoma is 8.5. Dallas.
They won the first time. Jalen Hurts had a running back's day and a starting quarterback's day. I mean, we know Jalen Hurts is going to show up. The games where it was close, Jalen Hurts wasn't the one struggling. Jalen Hurts hasn't really had bad games. He might have had games he was a little off for a little bit. He might have had games where, Kansas State, where somebody like stepped up. But I mean, we know Jalen Hurts is going to show up. And if Jalen Hurts shows up, well, hell, Lincoln Riley's going to show up. And if Lincoln Riley shows up,
let me help you out. Let me help you out even more. What Baylor was up how many points in the first meeting?
Oh, it was a comeback. 20 plus?
20. Was it 20? Was it the same amount that the New England Patriots came back on the Atlanta Falcons in the Super Bowl? 25? Mind you, Dallas, there was one player who didn't play in that game.
Say what?
CeeDee Lamb didn't play in the first meeting.
Oh, God. Oh,
I'm taking OU. And Oklahoma would more than likely probably get into the playoffs.
Bro, CeeDee Lamb didn't play the first time, and they came back from a 3-score deficit. Oklahoma by 14 at least. Oh God, Utah is not getting to the playoff. I'm confused as to why the committee did this particular, because they're trying to be cute. We noticed the first week that they were really trying to be cute with 5 and 6. They're really trying to save themselves and be like, well, at the time, they should have just had Oklahoma 5 and let people be pissed.
No, the real thing was they put Baylor at 7.
Well, if Baylor wins and Utah wins, then watch in that timeline. If Baylor wins and Utah wins, Georgia's probably going to pull upset. Either way, Utah's not getting into the playoffs. So it's just not happening. There's no way, because Utah is in an AFC 6 seed scenario. They need stuff to actually happen. It's not as simple as they win, Georgia lose.
All right, let's get some group of 5 discussion going on. Sun Belt Conference. Louisiana Raging Cajuns 10-2 are at 21. Appalachian State Mountaineers 11-1 for the Sun Belt Championship, and the line is 6.5. App State.
I'm thinking App State is going to win. Louisiana has a good record. They always do good in their bowl games. They always finish with good records. They always end up being a pretty decent program at that level. Both of these teams have a track. Don't really know when you want to do the whole scenario thing, but both of these teams actually have a track. Louisiana is like outside looking in. But App State is, App State is a little bit more realistic. They'd be 12-1. Boys would have to win. No.
I mean, when these type of comments says you on the road, so you have to pull like a miracle off. What for Fresno State did last year at Boise State.
Yeah,
App State is at home. Even though App State only loss was at home to Georgia and Southern.
Yeah, like Hawaii's gonna have to win. Cincinnati's gonna have to win. They're gonna have to blow out Louisiana because they lost to a Sun Belt team. So they're gonna have to convincingly win their conference to prove there's no shadow of a doubt. But they need help. But at the same time, it's like Cincinnati. It's hard to beat the same team twice in a year. Hawaii, ish happens. This is their first time ever in the Mountain West championship game, so it's already a first time for everything kind of thing.
Need MAC championship. Sorry for you people that y'all have no. I don't even think I have a chance to even make the rankings either, to be honest. But anyway,
did they ever make the coaches or AP this year?
I don't even know.
Dog, bro, sorry, no chance in hell.
Detroit, Michigan, Ford Field, Miami, Ohio, Red Hawks versus Central Michigan, Chippewas 6.5.
I am thinking that, you go by the record here. I'm thinking of Chippewas. Again, under the program where it's like slow and steady. The MAC is still waiting for that, that Western Michigan, that Ball State to come back, but she's going to have to be the Chippewas this year.
We both going Central Michigan. All right. Let me see. Conference USA. This is gonna be a good. This might be the only one we might disagree with, or we might disagree on another one. But this might be the one we disagree with.
Before we do it, like there's no tracks for either UAB or FAU either.
Nah, yeah.
I can't get in.
UAB Blazers 9-3 are at FAU Owls 9-3. Mr. Kiffin over there getting a 7.5 spot.
I'm not gonna lie. I really think that UAB might be better, but I'm interested because me and you talked about this a little bit earlier. It's around that. Lane Kiffin has been very quiet. He's been a very, very good man down there in Boca Raton, Florida, biding his time and serving his debt to society. I'm picking FAU because I think Lane Kiffin's going to coach his ass off, and I'm really starting to wonder with this. It's one thing when we were talking about Florida State going a little bit up the road. Florida State's a prime program, not a lot of resources. They're messing with the money, being funny with the honey. Lane Kiffin's been dealing with that with a CUSA school. Now with all these other jobs opened up, Lane Kiffin goes 10-3 at FAU, has 3 very good years building up that program and showing that he can be a face of a school and build a school back up to relevance. I don't know if he stays.
I'm wrong. We're not disagreeing. I'm picking FAU. UAB, y'all won it last year. I guess y'all not gonna win it this year.
10-3 conference championship. That's really a kingmaker season right there. Because when you're at FAU, what do you really expect from the football program? If Lane Kiffin ever gets that team to even be in the discussion of maybe getting a group of 5 New Year's 6 berth in September, that's the height of that program. So, like, do you really want to leave that to get screwed over by Nick Saban's revenge tour next year?
He already called it a revenge tour. Oh my God.
3 yards in a cloud of dust. 7 open inches.
I do not want to see that schedule. All right. Cincinnati, you're ranked 20. 10-1. Oh, 10-2, sorry. You got to go right back to Memphis, who's ranked 17 now, because they beat you the week prior.
To be honest, because of the low likelihood of App State and Boise State losing, Cincinnati doesn't have a track. Because if either of those 2 teams win, we can't really. Cincinnati's already like 20 after being in the teens all year. So, yeah. It's Memphis. It's really Memphis or bust, to be honest with you. I was wondering when we were going to get to. It's really Memphis or bust. If Memphis wins, it's a wrap. It doesn't really matter what else happens. Memphis is going to be our national champion. Beat the team that beat UCF first twice. Beat them to get the home field advantage for the conference championship. They've been the highest ranked team for the majority of the season, and they're the champions of the best conference. 4 teams at one point, I think, were in the top 25 in one of the 3 major polls. It's really Memphis or bust. All these scenarios don't really start mattering unless Memphis loses, and I don't really think they do. They demoralized them boys in the 4th quarter.
They ain't had a quarterback.
Bro, like, I watched the 4th quarter. I caught it because I was noticing it was like a little bit, frisky. Man, the last 10 minutes of that game, I was like, dang, I feel sad for Cincinnati.
I feel even more sad for Cincinnati because Memphis didn't even have their starting quarterback for that game.
Is he coming back this game?
I don't even know. I didn't see the reports on that. Yeah.
I mean, bro, it don't matter because at the group of 5 level, quarterback is the first check mark. Then you start looking at defense as an 11-man unit. Quarterback, defense, usually everything else kind of falls into place. Memphis clearly had the defense checked off. The likelihood
they're gonna come fighting because they're like, yeah. But they don't come out fighting, boy.
Well, because what we do is gonna be different than what the CFP does. We both know that, Hawaii, for example, Louisiana, BYU, and I'll mention why I'm even mentioning their name in a second. We know that they're not going to see the rankings at all, even if they do win. We know if Hawaii were to even blow out Boise State, they're going to be like 25th. So at this point in the season, it's got to be like a tad bit more, analysis than just copy and paste. Because, again, if Cincinnati were to do it, that's a lot of like 11-2 teams. Could have a 12-1 team that lost to a Sunbelt team. You could have a team that blew out like one of the best small schools ever, beat a top 5 team when they were back in the FC. I mean, it's a lot, but I just don't really think that the math is going to have to be that hard.
Hawaii, you made it to your first conference championship game in the Mountain West.
And it's hilarious because I'm looking at BYU's schedule right now, because when I was looking at scenarios, I had to think about the independents real quick. And I noticed that BYU's schedule has them slated in the Hawaii Bowl, but their opponent right now is not filled in. I think that is absolutely hilarious, because the track that Hawaii has to take to win our national title is probably similar to them being the highest ranked group of 5 team at the end of the day. Because when you talk about absurd and not going to happen. So I don't even know why they're even playing this game. It's going to be BYU versus Hawaii in the Hawaii Bowl, but okay.
It was a great story. But yeah, Boise State is not going to lose back-to-back championship games at home.
Nah, bro. And just for craps and giggles, Hawaii would have to beat Boise. Cincinnati would have to blow out Memphis, and Louisiana would have to beat App State. They'd be 10-4. But, blowing out Memphis, they aren't who we thought they were. 2 losses to a Sunbelt team, can't lose them. Boise State, well, hell, you just lost to Hawaii in the conference championship game at home. We can't put you. And that's why I say, we can't put the MAC in because who the hell did the MAC in the CUSA even play this year? So, yeah, but either way, again, bro, we're talking about Cincinnati blowing out Memphis, revenge tour. That's not going to happen. Louisiana beating App State, devastating to App State's preseason ranking. Boise State losing twice at home, bro. If all that happened in the same weekend, it was just destiny for Hawaii. At that point, you'd be watching the national champion playing BYU. Back to 83.
Oh boy, I'm done. All right, let's get down to business. Dallas, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 LSU Tigers. And to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, to take on 4th-ranked Georgia Bulldogs. Technically, it's a whole game for the Georgia Bulldogs, but I don't care. DeAndre Swift is hurt. He's injured. And if he does play, he ain't going to be nowhere near 100%. That injury, he actually hurt it.
A fight against a 3-9 team transition.
I was gonna get to that.
Shout out to
let me set it up. You already lost your best receiver, Kane. He ain't playing this game. And then your other receiver want to get in the fight with a Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket, who basically should be getting suspended for this game.
I think he already has been.
Look here. What's the line? LSU is a touchdown favorite. LSU by 17.
Bro, Jake Fromm is not a team carrier. We've seen Jake Fromm enough in big game. He is not a team carrier. 3 of his biggest weapons are not going to be there or are going to be severely hampered. We're going to be talking about this guy going as maybe in the 5th or 6th round and wondering, is he going to be a camp body? Is he going to be the next Trace McSorley? Oh, what could have been.
I'm gonna say this again. Dallas fully understand my frustration over why Florida lost to Georgia.
This isn't one of the best 4 teams in the country.
After that loss to Georgia, did you see what Florida has been doing lately?
With their 3rd quarterback?
They want to send the message y'all know y'all effed up, right? That should be us in a rematch with LSU. Y'all Georgia fans want to be watch what Joe Burrow and LSU do to y'all.
I just don't see how the team that was blowing the hell out of Alabama and literally made the entire second half garbage time. The entire second half was basically LSU in prevent. So
they hung up 42 on the Florida defense.
I mean, bro, come on.
Matter of fact, hold on. What game did Georgia play when the other team had -1 rushing yards and only won by 4 points? What team was that?
I mean, what's the team where when
Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M? What did LSU do to Texas A&M? They put up 50 on them.
I mean, bro, it it's not going to be a good look. Jake Fromm, this is a weak quarterback draft, and there are a lot of quarterback needy teams. So he's going to get picked up probably day 3. But, bro, it is not about to be a good look. I don't think it's one of those things where you just, snap the ball for 60 minutes just to get it over with. I think it'll be a game, at least for a little bit, but Georgia's not winning. Even the Homer Georgia blogs and Georgia Sports Radio, as passionate as SEC local radio is, I don't see any reasonable argument why Georgia should be picked.
Y'all get out of here with that, man.
The real discussion here, since we've left the group of 5 talk, is who's getting that 4th spot. And going forward, are we going to make the college football playoff committee act like they got some sense? Like, we knew this day would come. Somebody's going to have to lose between those 2 teams. And, I mean, you didn't win your conference, but you're going to go to the playoff? You literally lost a playoff game. And we're going to put you in the playoff again and because, dude, LSU, if they lose to Georgia, that's a top 4 loss, their first loss of the season, and a neutral field. There is a possibility that with Georgia being 4th and getting that win, LSU and Georgia play again. Because Clemson's going to slide down to number 4 just out of principle. So there's a chance that we get that same game 2 weeks in a row.
It won't be the first time.
But seriously, dude, come on. I argue against them, but out of principle, Utah, Baylor, Wisconsin, those teams win their conference. They're slated in certain positions. They're in the hunt. I don't
even know why Wisconsin is in the hunt, to be honest.
I don't either, but again, that's why I say act like you got some sense. Like, if we're going to put SEC teams in the hunt, if we're going to drop Alabama down to 12, well, hell, who did Florida actually lose to this season? Last time I checked, Florida's lost to 2 teams in the playoff right now.
Yeah.
I mean, who did LSU lose to the one season where they played Alabama in the national title game? Who did Alabama lose to when they didn't even win their division that year? Because those losses were clearly good enough for a damn computer to think they were the second best team in the country. What about the year where the damn promise game? Wasn't there a year when Florida had 2 losses? Come on.
Yeah, I remember that year. We had 2 losses. It was the fact that Ohio State had beat Michigan and they didn't want to see another Michigan-Ohio State rematch, so they ended up putting Florida in there.
It's bro, let's... And then Florida ends up winning. Ted Ginn busts his ankle celebrating the opening kickoff return touchdown. So, come on. If we're really going to do this, if we need to do it right, Alabama and Florida aren't going to lose a game this particular weekend. It's a bye. They'll have the same records. Georgia or LSU is going to have an L. If Clemson has an L, we're taking them down in 17th in the country.
By the way, we are picking Clemson because Clemson should not lose again, but if they lose this game, boy.
To be honest, Darnell, that was too much breath. The real discussion here is because, Clemson would be in the Orange Bowl instead of Virginia. Oh, no, Virginia. Oh, God, you talk about a ugly timeline. If Clemson loses, Clemson's probably going to be in the Cotton Bowl out of principle. Because you can't have a defending national champion who lost in their conference title game be playing in some useless-ass early December 6:30 kickoff time bowl. Virginia, the ACC champion, at God knows, there's ass first, there's back first, there's foot first, there's head first. We're talking 1968 Pinto first into the Orange Bowl with an ACC championship against Florida.
Thank God for college basketball for the ACC.
Well, no, because, Indiana. I thought FSU was a basketball school this year. Apparently not. So.
Yeah, now you know why I was ticked off that they have beaten Florida 5 years in a row.
It's tough.
But Duke did beat Michigan State in Michigan State, so.
Oh, well,
Louisville, one in the country.
we're kind of looking at Duke this year in basketball, how we're looking at Clemson in football.
It's still the top conference in basketball, so.
And that's saying so much. It really is.
But my goodness, boy, if UVA pulled this, because UVA going to the Orange Bowl no matter what.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you go from being in the college football playoff and a defending national champion with possibly the number 1 overall pick in the 2021 or 2022 NFL draft to playing in like the Belk Bowl. Like,
nah, they'll play in the New Year's Six, but it'll have to be the Cotton Bowl though.
But dude, like, so Clemson versus Memphis, but Clemson can. There's a timeline where Clemson can lose to Virginia, but will beat Memphis.
Dabo, just handle your business. That's all we saying. Just handle your business.
That's the part. Dabo getting a little bit too worried. He's letting it bother him. Coach speak, you tune it out, one game at a time. It's a 1-game season. Dabo done threw out that whole 1-game season every week thing. Dabo's starting to talk a little bit. He's getting kind of spicy in these pressers. That's worrying me. Because if he's getting spicy, how the hell does Trevor Lawrence feel? His draft stock is slipping. Got deep
because they still waiting on one last game. We're picking Ohio State to beat Wisconsin because yeah, they the only team that can stop Jonathan Taylor, and I don't see any changes what Wisconsin is going to do to beat Ohio State because Ohio State is won by like 30 points in every damn game they played.
Well, dude, it's not just that. Say hypothetically they didn't know how to stop Jonathan Taylor. They're the number 1 team in the country. If you can't stop a 3-yard in a cloud of dust team in 2019, if you can't figure out a way to stop one running back and you got the best defensive end in college football, I'm not going to say all the football. We're not going to do the whole Zion Williams thing. We'll see how that turned out.
Matter of fact, that quarterback is having nightmares about that Chase Young. This week he's having nightmares.
To be honest, if I'm Wisconsin's coach, I'm testing his run defense. I'm saying, hey, you don't play for me just because you got red jersey. I don't mean a damn. Run to him. See what happens.
Because Chase Young whipped that game wide open.
Exactly. And I don't know why. Wisconsin was looking. I don't know why Wisconsin tried that. But, dude, run to Chase Young. See what happens. Because, bro, like, Wisconsin's always going to have an NFL tackle or an NFL, undrafted free agent that might get a camp shot. Put an NFL body on an NFL body. Put that tight end over there. Chip it with it. See what happens. See what you can do, because you don't have a chance if you don't figure out early how to neutralize Chase Young. So you might as well see what works and what doesn't. And you start by running the ball at his side and seeing how much of a dominant force he'll be in the run game, because you know what he's going to do in the passing game. You know what's going to happen if it's 3rd and 8 and if you get off schedule. Don't leave him alone on the backside, because he will run it down. Don't run a toss. You'll get Jonathan Taylor killed. Play Wisconsin ball. See what happens. Because what you did last time did not work.
Oh, boy. This might be the most enjoyable episode that we did this season. Boy.
The weirdest thing is, out of all the years of the playoff, it is only the 2nd time we've done the podcast. I mean, this is the 1 year where I'm just like, this is ridiculous. This is a terrible field. This is horrendous. Because Clemson has basically been one bad quarter away, literally. They've been one bad quarter away from not even being in the playoff as a defending national champion. Georgia and LSU have been in the ranking like almost the entire year, knowing they got to play each other because they're in different divisions. Ohio State, I mean, people are desperate for Michigan to be good. And Penn State and Minnesota and Wisconsin, like, they play in a conference where they so desperately just want a different face to write and talk about. It's just, if something happens this championship weekend, the whole thing gets turned upside down. Dude, I'll drive this point home. You want to know how bad this field is? Georgia loses, Ohio State loses, and Clemson loses. What's the playoff field? You're talking
It just LSU for certain.
like if LSU wins and Ohio State, Clemson, and Georgia lose, you're talking about a playoff field that nobody predicted, nobody talked about. All those guys and ladies wearing their nice dresses and their nice suits with their blue checks that like look down on you every time you have a slightly off opinion. None of them predicted a Baylor, Utah. Oh Jesus Christ! What is the other conference? Because it ain't gonna be Virginia.
But if Utah makes the playoffs, boy, Lee Coastal, you're not gonna end up from Lee Coastal. He picked Utah from the beginning to make the playoffs. Somebody else picked Utah to make the playoffs. Can't think of who it was.
But dude, like LSU, Baylor, Utah, and dude, the fourth team is gonna be somebody that didn't win their conference because there is no way in God's hell that Virginia is making the playoff. It's the Power Five, but I can't think of a fifth team. Like,
boy, it has to be Wisconsin because they had 8.
Well, yeah, they're at 8, and they would have beaten the number one team in the country. And if it wasn't for this being the last week before the playoff, so yeah, you're talking Wisconsin, Baylor, Utah, LSU. Who in the hell picked that playoff bracket at the beginning of the season?
Boy, I know if this stuff happened, the playoff committee gonna be mad as hell because they had to have this stuff ready and set for 12 o'clock on Sunday. Because on 12 o'clock Sunday, on the 8th, we will know who's playing where and who's in the playoffs.
I mean, on the bright side, at least all this is happening in one day, and at least Navy isn't anywhere in the hunt. I mean, I don't even think there's a scenario where they're in our hunt, even with the extra game. So Navy's not in anybody's national championship bracket. So at least they don't have to do the delay like they had to do that one year before they lost to Houston. So there's that because it's their fault. All I can say is they put themselves in this situation. They already made it ridiculous by being so hard on Clemson the entire year, but having two teams that are going to play each other in a conference championship game being in the same bracket. That's one way they could have made things better on themselves. If you're going to keep Oklahoma in the hunt this whole time, if you're going to show love to Oklahoma after losing to Kansas State, you might as well just click the 5.
They did beat Baylor 9. And you see Baylor is still ranked in the top 10.
I think that if we still keep the BCS rules with the non-playoff bowls, then you need to keep BCS rules with the playoff at the very least. I don't want to see, I don't want to see Virginia go up against Buckeye. I don't want to see the ACC champion down in Miami in a lipsless game. I want to. You still
go Virginia and Florida.
I would rather see Notre Dame at 10-2 on a bye week because at least they're clearly the best team in the FBS Independence. I would rather see them in the playoff as a conference champion, technically, than whatever you give me. Like you.
All right, so from this point forward, it's clear Dallas do not want to see Virginia against Florida. It could be anybody else. Let's keep Virginia and Florida away from each other. That's what Dallas wants.
Imagine the poor intern that's at FIU, that's a marketing and communications major. And they got the job at the Orange Bowl, and they're so excited because they get to work in college football press and everything. And Virginia versus Florida. They're going to be like, who? That poor little 19-year-old freshman trying to figure out who the hell is Virginia? Where do they play? What's a Lynchburg? What's that mean? Like, bro. Why is Virginia playing in a New Year's Six bowl?
Because they won the Coastal and they played in the conference championship. They got to pick somebody, and most likely Clemson is going to be in the playoffs, so somebody got to take the spot. Well, the team that played in the conference championship game, not a bad fit because hey, they got the record.
This is my closing remark because I'm not going to give Ryan Tannehill any more attention than he deserves. If you're going to do the BCS, do the BCS. If you're going to do FCS on down and have a playoff, do a playoff. And if you're going to just make absolutely no sense and put who the hell you want to put in the top 4 for the playoff, go back to the newspapers. I don't know. I did not know we could get to a situation that's an even bigger cluster than what we had before in previous years. You have the newspaper system, the BCS, and the FCS on down championship system in one postseason, and it is terrible. It is horrendous. I don't know what's up and what's down. All I know is I do not want to see Virginia play Florida in the Orange Bowl.
Boy, when Sunday get here and I reveal these bowls, but I'm just gonna laugh when I see the Orange Bowl teams.
I would rather them go a step further and say, F it, we don't want to see Virginia versus Florida either. Put Clemson in the Orange Bowl and put Virginia in the Cotton Bowl. Because it would make more sense. Virginia versus Memphis, nobody's going to watch the Cotton Bowl anyway because that's a group of 5 game. Virginia versus Memphis, it makes sense. It's Jerry World. They're going to make the money. Concessions, hell, parking alone. I mean, Jerry Jones will figure it out. Jerry Jones is in the Hall of Fame, not for winning championships, but for what he did for the business of the NFL. He'll make his money. The CEO of the Orange Bowl, however, sending you a care package, sir, or ma'am, or they.
Oh boy, this is all right. So we got you caught up. We talked about the coaches. We talked about the rankings. We talked about who got the inside track to a New Year's 6 bowl games, even though they're not playing the conference championship this week. Talked about the conference championship games. Got y'all your picks. For y'all looking for the top 5 group of 5, it's the same as last week. So just to recap, Memphis is at 1, Cincinnati is at 2, Boise State is at 3, Appalachian State is at 4, and Navy's at 5. So
and also for those who really have been giving halfway of a damn about the top 5, just know to watch the American Athletic Championship game because that is basically the de facto national championship game for this year. If Memphis wins that game, they're the national champions. So that's if you care, if you've hopped on the bandwagon, if you've been interested, that's the national championship game this year for us. Because if they win, nothing else really matters.
So we said the next championship something. Yeah.
Well, see, the troll is going to be amazing because if you thought people hated on UCF when they won the national title, oh God, dude, like we barely have 1,000 followers on Twitter. They're really going to bag on Memphis. So we have to see how far we can get this train rolling, and hopefully Memphis does win so that we can, start planning immediately. Because I wouldn't even know what to send them. It's a lot of T-shirts, man. That's a big budget. Those are some big boys too. Talking 2X and up. That's a lot of extra fabric.
So, yep. So after you watch the games Friday, starting with the Pac-12 and Saturday night finishing off with the Big Ten. Tomorrow, so I say Sunday, 12 noon, right before you get ready for your NFL games, you will know where your team's playing at this bowl season and who's in the playoffs. So
that's 12 noon Eastern, right?
So yep.
Okay, so because so they were doing it right before the NFL. Interesting. Don't know why the college football playoff committee would do that to themselves, but I mean, obviously they're trying to see the hype.
They always do that so cool. When like they'll have like Kurt and somebody else on Sunday countdown.
Well, you know what the real reason is this year in particular. They're trying to see what the hype and social media attraction will be for the Cotton and Orange Bowls. Trying to see if they can, what they got to do to sell those tickets, because it's always going to be some hard work when those Cavaliers go down to Miami.
So after that being said, NFL podcast, we talked about the surprising firing of Ron Rivera and the marvelous job Coach Mike Tomlin is doing down in Pittsburgh. We got into it by the NFC East, why the Cowboys and Eagles don't want to win the damn division.
Fly, Redskins, fly.
How Minnesota opened the door for my Rams all of a sudden.
Go Kirk Cousins. Do what you do. Do what you've always done. Never change.
And you'll get another soliloquy from Dallas about the Jaguars because somehow they be making headlines.
For all the wrong reasons. I miss the days when nobody talked about us because this is terrible.
So, hey, we got you ready for some big games. We got Kansas City at New England. You got San Francisco at New Orleans. You got Seattle coming to my Rams up in the Coliseum. So, hey, you got some games to watch. And unfortunately, we saw we got Eli Manning plus likely coming back to start against the Philadelphia Eagles on Monday Night Football.
It is never a bad day in the NFL when a Manning takes the field.
With that being said, look, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Radio Public, Castbox, Pocket Cast, and iHeartRadio. So we can be found. We can be listened to. Facebook, the Playmakers Blog. Twitter, Playmakers Blog. Y'all have talked to us a lot on both sites. So this is what we do. This is what we love enjoying. So that's Dallas over there. I'm down there at the Playmakers Sounds. We'll talk to y'all next week.
Oh, Jim Harbaugh.